Hello, everybody, and welcome to Saber Dice. It is Monday, and that means it's time for Numenera Fury. And we are here before our short little break to do the second to last episode, the penultimate episode, if you will. And with me here is our usual cast and crew, minus one. Unfortunately, Arri has died. No, that's not true. He'll be fine, I'm sure. They'll save him. Because they're about to get, attacked by some terrible, terrible monsters.
Hey, there's no guarantee that we're being attacked. Just because you're the DM doesn't mean that...
Okay. I like your hopeful optimism. So let's go around, introduce the cast and crew that we have here, and get a word from our sponsors real quick. So we'll start with the ever optimistic. We'll go with Kenny. Kenny, who are you? Where can we find you? And how are you going to die? Who are you playing today?
So I'm Kenny Hill. You can find me at twitch.tv/KENIHILL. I know how to spell my own name. And I'm going to talk to them. It's going to be fine. We're all going to be fine.
Yeah, that works every time you try it.
So I'm playing Silica, and she just perseverance.
Yeah.
It's great.
Totally, for sure. Let's jump over to Bill real quick. Bill, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
Hey, I'm Bill. I'm on YouTube. I run a channel called Wyloch's Crafting Vids. And I show you how to make cheap terrain for your tabletop with useful, easily available materials. I'm playing Wyloch, who is a nano, who's got a fractured mind, very interested in science. Probably is more curious than scared at what we're about to face.
That's true. Probably the opposite. Let's jump over to Ted. Who are you? Where can we find you? And who are our sponsors tonight?
How you doing? I'm Nerdarchist Ted from Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds. You can find us on YouTube, on nerdarchy.com. We do a lot of RPG and 5e related material. Our sponsors for tonight are Dungeon Painter Studios, pyromancers.com. If you want some awesome maps to be able to custom make for your game, they're a great resource. Go check them out. Additionally, we also have Archania Workshop. If you would like some awesome 3D printed dungeon tiles, minis, or terrain, they're another place to go check out. And I'll be playing Zariff. He is a rogue-esque kind of character, or a jack in Numenera. And he's a little trepidatious about this encounter that we have going on. Some of these things have some likenesses to ourselves, which is not exactly a cool thing. And
For who is that not a cool thing?
Us.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forget you guys have thoughts and opinions as well. I thought it was cool, and I was like, yeah, totally. I'm absolutely gonna put that in there. Cool. So, I think that's it. All
right, good night, everybody.
Yeah, that's it, guys. We're done. You guys succeeded. You guys found the impossible blade. No, I am Mike from May Gaming. You guys can find me over on my channel. And until then, previously on Fury. Wait, where did it go? There we go. Their better judgment, telling them that the queen lying before them was clearly not the queen they saw in the yesterglass. Arri and Wyloch were left to their own devices to find a way past their latest obstacle. Combining quick thinking and brute strength, they were able to reveal a passage beyond, leading to an exposed elevator deeper into the ruined tomb. Silica, Arri, Wyloch, and Zariff made their way below to the false tomb to further plumb its depths, quickly finding the actual tomb of the queen and the final rest of the workers who built it. Wending their way through corridors and barred passages, the group uncovered strange occurrence after strange occurrence, until making their way across a long and rickety bridge. Once across, they came face to face with a bizarre machine full of thrumming pods and humming lights, each containing a mutant creature, and each hatching in turn. The macabre menagerie leered in the party's direction, poised to attack. What are you guys doing?
So I know we got a picture of this foulness that is in front of us. I don't know if you want to share that back out to...
Oh, it totally is.
Okay. So we have a spider-like creature that's just made of arms.
Yeah. Ari's arms.
Oh, specifically Ari's arms.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So we have some six-legged creature next to it that's got a more humanoid face. And who does that,
I believe the insect creature, I think it had Silica's face. If I'm not mistaken.
This was like the rat.
Oh, the rat monster. Oh, that's right. That's true. There were so many of them that I gave you guys. There was the rat monster, the insect monster, the weird crow. Oh, the crow had Silica's voice. That's what it was. The crow had Silica's voice because it had like crow with like man legs.
So it's like a whole bunch of tendrils with a pair of feet and a crow's head, but it's got
Silica's voice. Yeah, coming out of it.
And then we have the insect thing that's like got human hands but a wolf's head.
Yep.
And how is that linked to one of us?
I believe it has Wyloch's hands.
It's got Wyloch's hands, so the rat creature's got my face.
Your face. Yep.
Well,
you guys okay with that?
You're the DM.
If you guys want to rotate faces and arms and legs, that's fine. Yeah, I like to work into what my players prefer. So if you guys want to rework your faces,
personally, the wolf insect thing I think is cooler, but I'm not going to change your material here.
The wolfisect.
The wolfisect, however you want to call it.
Yep.
So
are they slowly advancing?
They're actually standing by the bottom of the pod, and they all just kind of the ones that can turn and look at you.
So how big of a room were you in, and how far is it to that chasm that we used the floaty disc to cross?
It's about 15 feet back to the floaty disc, and the room you're in is probably about 20 by 20 at least. It's circular, so change those dimensions to circular.
All right, because there is like nothing to work with in this picture as far as cover or anything to really get behind, and I'm not really happy about that.
I know. It's like
I'm holding my arms out, and I sort of grab both your shoulders and start backing up, hoping that you'll kind of go with me.
Yeah.
Zariff, do you have any matches or whatever there are in the ninth world?
Torches, flint.
I'm certain I have something that could spark.
All right, so we're backing up, and I'm sort of like, just wait for them to do something. And as we do this, once we get back a few feet into the corridor, I'm reaching in.
Well, there's no corridor. We have a chasm behind us.
Yeah, so it's a circular room, and there's a 15-foot corridor, and then there's the chasm behind you.
Yeah, so we're in the corridor.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So we're just inside the corridor. I'm reaching into my cloak to get the flask of embalming fluid that I had taken earlier. And I'd making sure I have it in my hand and ready. Okay.
Neat.
Are they advancing?
Currently, they do not advance. They just sort of stand there and watch you.
So Silica, I'm a little confused because none of these like things that we discovered from Wyloch's papers back in the whatever room. That's the builder room.
Yeah, the whatever room. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
Whatever. Like none of these are like in any sort of order, and it says that the creatures that were not of this world were past the tomb, but we haven't discovered a tomb.
Well, to be fair, parts of these creatures look like they're clearly from this world.
Also, to be fair, we were not able to translate all of the notes.
That's a good point.
Also,
that's a good point.
So
I'm a little judgy then about like the fact that we didn't translate these notes better. I'm like, what?
Are you blaming someone for that?
Yes, I'm blaming someone. I'm probably Wyloch. I'm like, this is your fault that we're in this mess.
All right, next time we'll let you do the translating.
Sure.
And
I'm sorry, I forgot. We've all seen the underlying current of the universe.
I'm not pleased.
Oh man. By the way, just so I don't get called out in chat, because I know it's going to happen, I didn't forget the bonus XP. It goes to Arri, who's not here. So.
Wait, didn't we give him our XP?
You did.
And then he got the bonus XP?
And he got chat's XP. Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Thanks, chat.
Lucky him.
Under the bus.
Lucky him. Which does remind me, guys, take notes today, and in the comments down below, tell us who you think deserves an extra XP from chat's friendly faces. Yeah. So I'll what are you guys doing with these things?
All right. So how do we know that the crow sounds like Silica? Did it say anything?
You know what?
You've heard me squawk.
Yeah, obviously you haven't heard her squawk
in combat.
That's just what her sound. That's just what her speaking sounds like to you, I assume, Zariff.
Wah, wah.
Be our friend. What?
She's not a Charlie Brown teacher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it does. It sort of it calls out, but it's not forming a proper sentence. You just hear like a string of words and syllables, as if it doesn't know how to speak properly.
Okay. So I want to look to the rat creature that's got my face, and I want to see if I can lock eyes with it.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you look at this thing. Are you like so describe to me how you're trying to get its attention to lock eyes with it.
Well, I imagine this has got to be to some degree some kind of beast, and beasts have that that little bit of preternatural senses that when things are looking at it, it kind of gets their hackles up and they're looking to find out what it is. So while we're in the corridor, I want to try and see if I can stare at it, see if it'll look at me, and see what happens.
Okay, cool. Roll me a intelligence 4. This is like an intimidation kind of thing.
Oh, I got to look at what my pulls are at the moment. Okay. I just, if I'm going to consider spending effort here.
Yeah, if you're going to get killed by rat monsters,
Yeah. I don't know what I accomplished, but I succeeded.
You did, yeah. So you kind of, you lower your man hackles and you sort of get there and focus in on this rat thing, and make yourself like the alpha of this thing. And you see it kind of leering from back and forth in the party to just sort of lock with you. And it takes like a half step forward and is staring at you the whole time. So you have managed to gain its attention.
All right. So do I get anything out of it? Is it unnerving to be looking at?
I mean, it's super weird, right? Like, it by itself is, I wouldn't say it might be unnerving, but you've seen a lot of shit, and you've seen a lot of weird stuff here. So, like, this might be par for the course in that kind of way. But it is for sure a macabre sight, given that you're staring at your face. And to make matters worse, or better, who knows, you're staring at your old face. So your face pre-stab wound.
Okay. Wow. No scars, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's even creepier.
But they don't seem to attack you. They just seem to be here, as if, like, guarding the room, perhaps.
Well, Wyloch seemed like he had a plan, so I'm going to, and I don't know if I would have noticed that Zariff was trying to, like, I don't know, make googly eyes at these monsters, but I'm going to defer to whatever, Wyloch pulled us back into the corridor, so I want to see what he's got up his crafty little sleeves.
Well, they haven't advanced, so I'm not doing anything yet. While they've been holding, I've been looking at the pods and studying them, trying to see if I can figure out what's going on in this room.
Okay. I like where your head's at. Roll me intelligence level 7.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's not Numenera. It's intelligence.
It could be Numenera. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That makes a big difference for him.
Sure does.
Indeed.
Come on, roll big. Oh.
Nope.
That didn't go so well. So if you can explain a different way you get up there and look at this thing. Actually, you know what? I'll explain that for you. So from your distance, it's difficult vantage point, but you know that if you get up there and get a closer look, you might have better odds, which means you can roll again if you get up close to the machine, and then you can spend whatever effort you guys want, or assets.
Well, seeing as how Zariff took a few steps forward, I'm not doing anything yet. I'm letting him play out his thread.
Sure. Are you all still in the hallway?
Yes.
Yep.
So I want to get to the cusp the alcove, the portal, the entryway to the room, and not stepping into it. And I want to see if I can lure the rat me closer.
Okay, I like it. How are you planning to lure it closer?
I will pull out some rations.
Okay,
A snack.
you're trying to give it a little snack. What's your favorite treat to feed to the Zariff face?
Well, I can't imagine that we have anything in the way of great and glorious food that we're traveling with. So whatever I got,
Okay.
Hardtack or jerky or
Sure. So you pull out this piece of rations and you sort of brandish it in front of you, trying to like lure the rat thing over to you. And it takes a few steps forward and sort of like, which is weird to see an animal with a man face kind of sniff at the air. And you see its tail kind of curl up behind it, almost as in a defensive kind of position.
Is it just like a regular rat tail, or is it?
Yeah, no, it's a regular rat tail. That weird skinless rat tail, but it's large. It's like an ROUS. As it begins to kind of lumber towards you, smelling the air, and it does begin to move towards you.
All right, so I'll take a piece, break it off, throw it like foot and a half into the room.
Okay, it like stops and watches it land, and then looks back to you, and then and it moves towards that and begins to sniff around the ground where it landed.
I'll break contact for a moment while it's looking around. What are the other ones doing?
The other ones are watching you and it.
So based off of what I'm seeing,
Mm-hmm.
Can I get any kind of like sense of intelligence? Like clearly, if it's having to sniff, it's not at a human or humanoid level intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Like oh, it's food, it's offering it to me. It would just kind of come over.
Correct. So you can gather, and you don't have to roll for this. You can gather like the fact you watch these pods hatch, and they clearly have your limbs on them, which means they couldn't have been formed. Well, I mean, unless that's some crazy weird stuff, which I think you would dismiss, knowing who you are. They couldn't have been created that long ago. You guys have only been on the island for a few days, right? So they probably only have the intelligence that was able to be pushed into them in a few days' time. You could see that the weird crow thing couldn't form full sentences and just like sporadically used words and just like clicks and weird noises. So yeah, they definitely have subhuman intelligence. They probably have sub-animal intelligence. Yeah, they don't seem very smart about it.
I start inching forward.
Okay.
And I keep doing that until I get some sort of reaction from any of them.
Okay. So the moment your foot crosses the threshold of hallway to room, they all turn and look to you.
And I stop. And I wait.
And as long as you are over the threshold, their eyes don't leave you.
I want to be right up behind Wyloch.
Mm-hmm.
Like
all right, so I've now been pushed further back. That's fine.
This is a big corridor. Probably.
It is a 5 foot wide corridor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think Silica's not like some huge,
snuggle party then?
Yeah.
Broad.
Yeah, you guys are cuddling.
It's fine.
All right, another test. I have my hand in my cloak. Now I reach over to the bag of dice that I have. I pull out the D12.
Okay.
And I does one of them fly?
Not that you've seen.
You know what? I don't chuck it at any of them. I just chuck it to the far side of the room.
You see them follow it, and then you see like it like ting 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 and hits like metal grating and stuff below. And then you see the weird spider arm thing just sort of like crab walk back behind this thing to go see what that was.
Does it have anything other than arms?
No, it doesn't.
All right, two of them are occupied.
And it looks like his regular arm, not his metal arm.
Yes,
or it's his...
looks like his regular arm.
Do we see any other exits in this room?
Not from where you are.
Well, I imagine that there's a door beyond that thing, like, not a birthing chamber, the pod chamber, whatever you want to call it.
I just want to ask one more time because you just never know. Am I getting anything from Mr. Pickles? Like any sort of danger sense or no? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay. Well, it was worth asking again. Because what I'm thinking is they give me the feeling they're giving me the feeling that they're in the same kind of realm as the other stuff we've seen. That what's her snake Medusa face?
Mm-hmm.
Devola.
Deborah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That she is making these creatures. I don't know if this place is too deep for this to be the case, but this isn't the realm of weird that she seems to be dabbling in. So
other than the spider, I would think everything else seems a little too normal for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I'm wondering if we don't appear to be aggressive towards them, if we could just walk through is kind of what I'm getting at.
So what does the and I'm going to keep calling it this until I'm told otherwise, the rat me, did it go and eat the food?
It sniffs at the food and then it is just sort of standing over it and watching Wyloch, or well, it watches the dice, and then once the hand thing walks over to it, it turns back to Wyloch.
Do you still have your foot in the room?
Yes.
Pull your foot back across the threshold.
You say that to me?
Yeah.
All right.
Left foot in, put your left foot.
All right, I'll take a step back. All right, so what Silica just said is pretty much where my head was at. I kind of feel pity for these things.
Yep.
So I say we inch our way along as a group. Zariff, you have your flint and steel ready. I will have my embalming fluid ready. And if we need to create a diversion or bathe them in holy fire, we'll do one of those two things if it goes south.
Okay.
So we inch our way, shimmy across the room, see what's on the other side of that birthing column, hopefully a door.
Sure, you might want to pick up your D12 in case you got to use a great axe later, but
wow. Yeah. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to shimmy across?
Looks that way.
Do the shimmy, shimmy, shake?
Yep.
Shuffle, yeah.
Okay. So again, the moment you cross in, whoever crosses in first, the moment you cross in, all of the eyes snap towards you and begin tracing your movements. And once you get like 5 foot, by 5 or 6 feet into this room, the closest thing, which is the Zarat, begins to walk towards you.
Walk? Just walk?
Yep.
It's just curious. It's just a curious little friend.
Yeah.
It just wants to know what's going on. It's fine. It's fine.
We kind of look at each other and we keep inching along.
Keep shuffling.
Yeah, maybe we're now 2 inching along, a little bit faster, but just balanced sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who lead here?
Oh boy.
I assumed Wyloch, and that I would have been in the middle, and then Zariff would have been behind. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm certain Wyloch's not happy about that, but I don't have a problem with it.
I had pictured it differently. All right, yeah, we'll do it that way. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what side, left or right side, Wyloch, since you're leading this party astray to get to wherever they got to go?
We were going around the left side of this big.
Well, if we go to the right, the spider went behind. The rat thing we would now have been past, and the Wyloch Silica monsters would be on the other side. So if we went the other way.
Okay. Whichever side has fewer monsters currently in view. Or within distance.
Okay.
Am I perceiving that correctly based on the picture?
Yeah. So the rat thing is in front. The crow thing is to the right. The spider thing is also to the right on the wall, and the hand spider went behind it. So you really can't see where it is now that it's behind it. So you guys inch towards the left, avoiding the right-hand side with all of these things. As you do so, you see the insect one begins to slowly walk its way down the wall, and you see all the weird whippy tendrils of the crow begin to like start moving around as the rat steps forward and is following behind all of you. And you hear in a shriller version of Silica's voice, "Stop!"
I stop.
So we do. So we do.
And the rat keeps moving towards you.
Is it walking or is it?
It's walking.
It's showing no signs of aggression at the moment.
Nope.
All right. Silica, you got talk to your raven thing.
This is your problem.
Talk to your raven thing. That's so
okay,
raven.
So we've stopped. The rat Zerat
is advancing. Yep.
It's still advancing.
Yep.
Is it talking at all?
It's moving in front of Wyloch as if to block his path.
I think we just have to. Where
are we in relation to that birthing pod thingy chamber dealing?
Yeah, can we see around it yet?
You are probably 5 or 6 feet away from it. You guys are probably like in the middle of the room towards the left-hand side. So yeah, I think Wyloch could probably roll me a searching or a perception of some kind.
That's what I was looking for.
Since he's the closest one up.
Intellect?
Numenera.
Yep, intellect.
Intellect. Difficulty?
Difficulty is a 4.
Is it just straight intellect, or is it Numenera that he can roll?
No, because he's just searching for like a door or exit or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. There is on the opposite side of basically on the opposite side of the looks roughly the size of one medium-sized human, and on the right-hand side of that there is a panel. Or a box that has like a bunch of like holes in it and one large round yellow button.
The yellow button.
The yellow button.
This is the transportation device we're gonna need. It is activated by a yellow button or trigger. So there's a whole bunch of holes and a big yellow button.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says press the yellow button to ride the vehicle.
I don't even have that much. I just have yellow trigger, so I'm not actually sure. Silica not good at retaining information. It's fine.
Well, I imagine Zariff is good at that kind of stuff, considering what he did before all of this. And you got to take notes.
Yeah. So
the thing clearly knows some of the truth because we heard it say stop. So
right.
That's why I'm looking at Silica.
I want to ask, I'll just say why. I'm going to assume that there's some intelligence here, but it's probably very rudimentary. So I'm going to try to keep my line of questioning simple, and we'll just have to decipher from what it can give us.
Okay.
So,
I like that. So you're going to ask it why it wants you to stop?
I'm just gonna say it said stop. I said why. I'm gonna keep this as simple as possible because I want to talk to the monsters, of course.
Sure. Are you addressing Silicro?
Yes, I am addressing Silicro.
Like that one?
Sorry.
Okay, cool. So you look at it and say why. It cocks its bird head to the side in that like twitchy bird motion, and it squawks out, "Defend!"
Okay, so I'm assuming that's their MO, is that they have to defend whatever is going on.
So just for shits and giggles, how far away is the yellow button from where we are?
From where you are, you guys are about halfway across the room, so probably another 15 feet.
No particular.
Or probably 10 feet.
All right, so technically, just thinking out loud here, we could run, push the button, dive down the thing, and hope it all goes well.
If you recall what Wyloch saw, one of you could. This strange, transparent thing fits one person.
Well, I'm guessing it's like, you know, a slide.
It's a good guess.
I don't know if we have enough information about that yet, but I want to try. So I'm going to, Silica said defend.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say back to it, friend.
How do you say it? In a questioning manner or
No,
just a blank statement?
As in my positive and pleasant social interaction kind of way, as convincingly that it would understand that we are friends, but that we are not harmful. I'm going to try to put all of that emotion into that one word, friend.
Okay, since that's what you're trying to do, roll me difficulty 4, convince, or intelligence with whatever pleasantries you might have.
Positive and pleasant social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
4.
This is what Silica does.
I talk to monsters.
Guys, all these successes are coming up at the beginning, just so you know. So it cocks its head again, and you see the tendrils sort of relax. And it cocks its head again, and it looks up to you and says, "Or food."
You know,
Not food.
Mm,
Not food.
not food. Friend. I say it. I say that out loud. Not food. Friend.
Fish are friends, not food.
Fish are friends, not food. Yes.
You see that the rat has stopped advancing. And Wyloch, you'll notice that you don't see, even though despite the fact that you can see behind this thing, you don't actually see the hand spider.
You mean army?
No, it's the oracular.
Oracular.
You don't see that. And as you're kind of like glancing around looking for, the missing thing, you see that it is climbed up onto this giant machine and it's pulling at one of the pods. And in the pod, you can see another something creature is like growing inside of it. But the animals have stopped advancing on you.
So what is the?
I want to like nudge Wyloch and just be like.
And I start resume our shimmying very slowly toward the yellow button.
Okay. They don't seem to be attacking you as long as you seem to be quietly moving around without causing any kind of stir.
Yes.
So eventually you guys slowly make your way to this strange clear tube.
You said that it was doing something, that the oracular was doing something to another pod?
Yeah, it's seemingly trying to like pull it open.
Am I able to see what's in it?
You see it's kind of embryonic, right? So you can't really see what it is, but you see that it is a similar a creature of a similar vein, right? It's something that looks like it has muscles and meat to it, but it seems to be kind of curled and coiled like in a fetal state.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys are able to get to this this clear cylinder in the back here. As you approach and get closer, you actually see that the box containing several holes, they look like they used to have been buttons, and now you see that the yellow one is bright enough for you to see, and directly below the yellow one is a red one that is slightly dimmer and more difficult to see.
All right, so we're able to get up to it?
Yep.
And the cylinder, is it like open so that someone could step in?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's going first?
We feel like we already got through the part where we had to use Zariff because he was like a chosen one, right?
Sure.
Says where was the note on that one? The
Well,
blessed by Arturi to enter. Yes, we've gone through that one. I've already seen that the elevators will not return. The next one was, press the yellow trigger to ride a vehicle. Do not go beyond the tomb. And the statue of the queen is a potent guardian, which we already saw that as well.
We did. We don't know for sure if that was where Zariff, you stepped up and talked to the statue, right? We don't know for sure. That could have been anybody, though. We don't know if that was the blessed by Arturi.
No. Blessed by Arturi was when I put my hand on the wall and it opened.
Okay.
The statue of the queen was a the room size statue that Silica convinced to let us pass.
Yeah.
She rolled really high on that too. So.
All right. I want to.
Do you want to go first?
I kind of want to do a contingency action first, but I don't want to meta this because we're standing at the door and it's a very tenuous situation, right?
Right.
So I'm going to I'm going to take out the embalming fluid, and as subtly as I can, I'm even keeping my arm in my cloak, but I'm pouring it out to form a half circle around us on the floor, a foot away, such that if one were to throw a spark or something, we would have a temporary wall of fire shielding us. That's the idea. So I'm trying to very subtly, as we're gathering around the door and kind of shuffling, and I'm just like turning and drizzling some embalming fluid on the floor.
Very sleight of hand, very sneaky.
Okay. Right. Roll me a speed 4.
Okay.
I mean, I have a rapport with these monsters. I don't mind going last.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You do it.
Okay. All right. And then as I'm doing that, I motion to Zariff to the cylinder.
All right.
You want Zariff to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
In the moment, that's the best I can think of.
I'm
all right.
that.
I go in.
Okay.
All right.
You enter the cylinder. You are inside of it now.
And I complete my arc that I'm walking, and I push the button on the wall.
Okay. You hear a swoosh. And before any of you can do anything, the hole that was open, zips closed. And you watch in horror as Zariff dematerializes in front of you.
Okay, that is a thing we have not seen before, and probably ever.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see again.
Bye, Ted.
How do the monsters? I mean, we know how we would react to that.
Don't ask Kim.
Same team, Kenny. Same team. Okay. You see that the hand stops, the Araculus stops for a second, and you don't. I guess you don't see anything, right? It's just a pile of hands, and then it begins to yank again in renewed vigor, and you can see that the crow is watching you from one side, and the I can't think of a good Wyloch insect one that has proceeded up the walls. And the Zarat has walked around the side, and now all of them are watching you again.
What about Ysect?
Ysect? That's a pretty good one. I'll take that one.
Doesn't even rhyme.
It's not supposed to rhyme.
It doesn't rhyme.
All right, I push the red button.
Oh, nothing happens.
I push the yellow button.
Nothing
quickly.
happens. The door after like 30 seconds, the door slides back open.
Oh, okay.
All right, no, Wyloch, come on, man.
No, I know this kind of stuff. I'm around it all the time. I've built stuff like this. This is fine. Trust me.
Silica doesn't want to leave Wyloch behind, but I guess I will defer.
First off, is there enough?
I figure you can phase to safety even if I'm not here. I'm worried you're gonna get attacked. Obviously.
Okay.
Is there enough time to push the button and jump in the tube?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, all right. I had something planned for that. Okay, that makes it a lot easier. Yeah, either of us could go. Doesn't matter.
I think you should go first because I've got some nice speed stuff. So if something starts to go wrong, I think I could probably get myself into the tube pretty quickly.
Don't gotta say any more, sister. And I leaped in, excited for this experiment.
Okay.
What do you think would go wrong?
I press the yellow trigger.
You watch as he dematerializes like Mike TV, and then is gone. And a good 30, 45 seconds later, the door slides back open.
All right, I press the yellow button and elegantly get into the tube.
Okay. You make it in, and like as you kind of go, like a tattered piece of your outer cloak kind of sinks in the door, and you watch as it like you're tugging, and then you dematerialize as well, and are gone. And all of you feel.
What happens to my cloak?
That part's gone.
Oh, okay,
the part caught
great.
in the door is gone. You're fine. The three of you feel the strangest sensation as your body is separated into tiny, tiny millions and millions of molecules and then slowly reassembled in a different location. First out is Zariff as you appear in a very similar device. And then as soon as you like appear, you hear like a ding, and the door slides open.
All right. So my plan, without knowing what I'm going to see, my plan was to immediately go stealth. So is there something in here that I could stealth behind?
Yeah, so what you see is there is a large passageway from where you are, which isn't that fun. You see a large passageway that is a white marble floor and blue and white, like offset, checkered marbled walls and ceiling. And to that, you see it leads to a large dead end with an ornate mirror hanging on the wall, and that is it. That's all you see in this long hallway.
I don't see any creatures or.
Nope, nothing's in here.
All right. So I have no idea how long it takes for them to be able to get here. So my plan was, not knowing what there's going to be, I will find the nearest corner, group of shadows, what have you, and fade away.
So you came out facing one direction. So you came out facing one direction, and there's there's two corners behind you. You could easily get behind where you appeared, and then just be as quiet as possible with that bow out if you'd like. A good like 3 or 4 minutes goes by, and then you see slowly scattering into being. Which is a strange sight for you because you didn't see you dematerialize. You basically see him like being 3D printed as he's reformed pixel by pixel as his molecules assign themselves, and then you see a fully embodied and equally confused Wyloch, and then ding, the door opens.
I gotta imagine the Wyloch comes out with this big shit-eating grin on his face.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
I quickly step out so that we don't end up with like a brundlefly situation.
Yeah. Yep. Because you saw what happens.
Yes.
And when you step out, you hear and the door airlocks behind you. And you are faced with the same marble hallway with blue and white marble walls and ceilings and a very ornate mirror hanging on the wall at the end.
Can I see Zariff?
He is behind you, so your back is to him. So you cannot see him. Yeah, you cannot see him from where you are.
Okay, so I'm kind of worried that he didn't get here.
So when he starts looking around, I'll step out. I'm not trying to
prank him,
play pranks or whatnot.
Perfect. Like it. Yeah. So you step out of the shadows, and Wyloch, you are now aware that your ally is here.
Okay.
So is there a yellow button on this side?
No, there's no buttons at all. Just a weird clear tube in the middle of this chamber.
So
it's a one-way trip, guys.
I don't see a way out.
All right. So while I'm waiting for Silica, I'm studying the mirror, seeing if I want to sense magic. See I have no idea where we are now. How far we could be from where we just were.
What if I do this instead? Oh, no, hold on. Wait for it. Boom! There you go. That is the mirror you see before you.
Uh-huh.
As denoted by the title, The Mirror. So that is exactly what you see before you. And as you go and walk up to this ornate mirror that takes up the entirety of this wall, it's basically a passage barring your further progress. You all hear ding, and if you turn back to look, you see the etch-a-sketch of Silica begin to slowly form itself as it pixelates.
I see. Wyloch gets 3D printed. Silica gets an etch-a-sketch.
Yeah.
So, do we think this is like an Erised kind of thing? Like, oh, I picture myself holding the sword.
Am I done etch-a-sketching?
You are out there. Okay. And then shoot, the door opens. Yeah.
I like huff. I'm like in a huff coming out of this thing. It tore my jacket.
It did tear your jacket. A little bit.
Or I think it tore. Is like, that's the only sort of, but part of it didn't come with me.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of upset about that.
Right. So you're reacting more to your garment being damaged than a crow tentacle monster having your voice.
Well, you know what? We got out of that situation. It's behind us now. Let's not dwell on that.
You continue to amaze me. So looking around, I'm not really seeing an exit. We don't have a return button here. We got a mirror, no tomb.
You're too focused on the past, my friend. Let's look forward.
Oh,
button for return.
When you deal with these kind of things, you must always know where your exit is, just in case you need to get out in a hurry.
So this mirror, I don't sense that it's Numeneran or.
So you do in fact sense that it's Numeneran. So walking up to this mirror, you can see upon closer inspection, as you just walk up to it, that it is not a mirror in fact at all. It is a reflective liquid that just sort of flows in the inner circle of where the mirror part of the mirror would be. And you can sense that it is some kind of Numenera. If you would like to take a look into this, roll me a Numenera 2. Actually, you don't have to, because you're super fucking trained in it. Yeah, you know that this is some kind of liquid Numenera device that forms a reflective field, and you can touch it. You can seemingly pass through it.
I want to. I got no problem with that. Yeah.
Derek just goes for it.
Yep.
Okay.
He's probably the safest bet.
Sure, that's fair. Make me a speed defense 4.
Speed defense 4.
I say too soon.
That's spirit.
So what kind of sensation do I feel that makes me try to jerk back?
You don't feel anything. You feel cold, as if you extended your hand into cold water. Think like Neo in the Matrix. What you see is at the top of the mirror solidifies and begins to slowly solidify down your hand as it. So you see it solidify, and as it slides down, it liquefies back as if a blade has just sharpened and just it slices. You take a bunch of damage, unfortunately. You take 10 might damage as this thing severs off your pinky.
10 damage.
As you try to yank out, your pinky is the last thing in there as it gets taken with you.
I'm barely standing.
And bleeding out of your pinky.
Caution and patience, my friend. They're virtues.
So I'm now... gushing blood, and I pull out some bandages and immediately start wrapping my hand.
I'm rushing over and I'm helping him wrap. Yeah.
You guys are easily able to wrap up his bandage up his hand and stem the flow of blood. If you guys would like to take a few minute rest here, if you guys have the opportunity, you may do so.
I think we should all be at our action rests, right? Because we took a 10 hour not that long ago.
Yep.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
All right,
10 minutes.
Absolutely. Six.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So you guys take a 10-minute breather to recover and figure out what the hell to do next.
So does my pinky go into the mirror, or is it lying there on the ground?
Tell you what, let's flip a coin for it. Roll me a D2.
Is that /R D2?
/R space D2. We'll say a 1 is your finger is gone, and a 2 you can recover your finger. Your
2.
finger made it to the floor.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but you know, pinkies aren't all that big, so I will go ahead and put that in one of the little.
You know,
vials.
I have my schooling when I was growing up. One of the things we had to learn was sewing. So if you got some needle and thread, I could try sewing that bad boy on.
Yep.
I don't think I have needle and thread on me.
Oh, well, isn't that just convenient? Okay. Do we have an inanimate object we can try pushing through the mirror instead of, I don't know, people's hands and fingers?
Yeah, whatever you guys have in your character sheet. So,
I've got plenty of stuff.
Torches you have, rope you have. One of you has a Numenera horse.
I still have my flotation device I haven't done anything with.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. So I want to take my torch and just see if that has the same reaction as Zariff's guillotine mirror experience.
Now, are you just slowly just putting this in there? Or are you like jabbing in there as far as it can go?
Without getting my hand in there. I mean, a torch is like pretty long.
It's like at least 2 feet long, right? The whole thing.
Yeah.
So you want to jam the whole thing in there as quickly, or you want to just slowly?
I'm gonna put it in quickly, assuming it's not like a non-Newtonian fluid. It should go.
Yep.
I would assume.
Yep.
Backtrack for just a moment. Sure. The damage I took, did that take armor into account or no?
No.
Okay.
Did not take armor. So you slam this thing in there, right, as far as you can get it, and you hit a wall on the other side. And you notice that, and as you notice the thunk, like the other side, you notice that the mirror is solidifying at the top and is sliding down. So if you'd like to let go, you can, and it will just cut it in half, or you can roll me a speed defense 4 to pull out your torch intact.
I don't care about it.
Okay.
I have more torches.
So, and your torch handle breaks off, and the torch part falls away somewhere in magical Mirrorland.
It's like the Resident Evil hallway.
What's that?
Oh.
The Resident Evil hallway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
How much time did it take? It took maybe like 3 seconds. Like you have time to get your hand in there and do something.
All right. But it hit, so I tell them, I'm like, I think I hit a wall on the other side, or I hit something on the other side.
Is the mirror mounted to a wall? Is it floating there? What's going on?
As far as you can tell, it looks like it could be mounted to the wall. But if you look, so the mirror has like the ornate edge, like the rim of the mirror, right? But the back wall itself seems to be of the same material and design as if this is one entity.
Can I inspect the outer edge and the wall?
Absolutely, yeah. Make me a difficulty. This is difficulty 2, so you probably just pass at it. Yeah. As you begin to like poke at the rim, the lid of this mirror, and you kind of like try to pry it away. This is all one piece. The frame of this mirror is all, and the wall is one solid piece.
So nothing slides, nothing moves.
Nope, not as far as you can tell.
I'm going to shift out of phase and see if this thing, do I see anything differently here in the 8th dimension? Does it look different?
So you can't see through things. So I will let you roll me a perception if you're trying to force your way through the mirror out of phase.
I'm not trying to force my way through. I'm seeing, does it still look like the liquid? Is there...
Oh yeah, no, it still looks like a liquid. Yeah. Okay. In fact, when you shift out of phase, you can see like it goes from that reflective, like silver, to like a gray.
Okay, but other than that,
it still looks liquid. It still looks like you imagine this is where the metal mirror would be, right? It just loses its reflective property when you're out of phase.
Okay. Nothing.
So what information could you find on the wall? Did it feel solid? Did it feel like it gave it all when you pushed the torch through, Silica?
It felt solid.
It felt solid. It hit something. It hit something hard. But whether that was a wall or a panel or a person, well, it wasn't a person. Well, unless it was a statue. I'm not going to meta this.
How much space? Like, how much of the torch got cut off?
Well, the torch is like, I don't know, maybe 14 inches long. And I put it most of the way through, I think.
Yeah.
So I only have like a nub left. So
Yep.
it's like a foot-ish.
Yep, that's an accurate description.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm going to just start searching around the room. There's got to be something here that will give us information on, what this is or where we go next, because we're pretty much stuck.
It's as if they didn't want you to find the tomb and loot their queen. A weird combination of things. Yeah, so how exactly are you searching this room?
I mean, at this point in time, it's I'm up to a fine-tooth comb. There's nothing on the mirror that I can find. So I'm gonna, examine the walls, examine the floors, see if there's anything that's wrong about the pattern of the stone tiles. If there's anything that's loose that can be moved, anything that's not solid that should be.
Okay. Roll me. Okay, dope. So yeah, you look around here, and this place is impeccable. It is clean. The marble floor has no dust on it. The walls have seen no signs of decay. It's almost like you're the first people to have entered this chamber since its inception. And as you are kind of examining and looking around the room, you see that there are strange, like pock marks at the base of the wall with the mirror on it.
Like it's been damaged?
No, maybe like something's dripped there.
Oh, okay. Then I will look up.
There doesn't appear to be anything up. You may see, actually, yeah, no, there doesn't appear to be anything up. It looks like there are a few, like, almost as if you dropped acid, right, on the floor, right in front of the mirror. That's kind of what you see. Nothing appears to be coming from the ceiling or from the walls, though.
Is there something that the acid could have burned off? Do I see anything that?
So yeah, as you get down there, I'll tell you what. As you get down there, roll me another searching for. I'll give you an asset because you're specifically looking at one location.
I noticed that Zariff's like down on the ground looking at something really closely. So I'm just kind of leaning over his shoulder.
Sure.
Do you want to help me?
Your hair touches the mirror and it slices. No, that's not true.
Oh, that's how I get a beautiful haircut.
Yeah, it's an undercut.
I needed a trim.
So I'll say to Silica what I noticed, and offer if she wants to help me look.
Yeah, I mean I'm looking. I'm curious, at least.
Sure. So that makes it an auto success, but roll it anyway. So
I was gonna say, is that another asset or is that a bonus?
It would be another asset.
Okay.
That makes an auto success, but I want to see just in case you crit. Okay, so you didn't, but you auto succeed. So what you see is these are not scored pockmarks at all. These are holes in the floor, as if to be a drainage for something. As if some kind of liquid form falls down in these holes and is siphoned somewhere else.
Okay, so there must be a way to get the liquid out of the mirror.
That is a good assumption.
Oh, huh. How would we get the liquid out of the mirror?
I wasn't able to learn anything when I studied it. I just know that it is Numenera.
So, knowing that it's Numenera, knowing that by all accounts, there's some way is possible. Do we attempt to use a crowbar and see if we can angle it to make the liquid, come out? Do we
a Numeneran straw?
I'll do this. I'll say this, since I often hate puzzles.
I'm trying to workshop it with the crew here.
Roll me an intelligence 4 with 1 asset for your background, and I'll attempt to give you a hint. If you succeed.
Straight up intelligence or searching?
It's intelligence. This is like a memory test.
Okay. Why did it not show up? Intellect. There we go. Submit. 1 asset.
Hey, all right.
Okay, so you notice that, so obviously there's a passage beyond the liquid, and touching the liquid is trapped, right? So that would kind of lead you to believe that you wouldn't trap nothing. You probably trap the place you don't want people to go. What you do with that knowledge, that's up to you. But that's what your spelunking brain would tell you. Often the places you need to go are what's trapped.
Right. Well, we already figured that we were going to go into it after the liquid comes out. So the question is there anything on the frame that looks like some kind of button or dial?
Nope, not on it.
I suddenly start smiling. So,
what you thinking there, Wyloch?
Silica, was there any resistance when you pushed the torch through?
Well, I hit a wall. I hit something hard.
Yes, but was it difficult to push it through? Was it like Play-Doh or was it water?
No, it was water. It was easy peasy.
So presumably there's a thin corridor on the other side running perpendicular to this room. Otherwise, it's just a tiny alcove beyond, right?
Right.
Okay, so I can attempt to pass through the wall on either side of the mirror to see what's beyond, and I'll set a timer. If I'm not through anything within 20 minutes, I'll reverse and come back. But
all right.
The alternative is the most stealthy among us, Zariff, could attempt to do a running leap through it and stand up on the other side quickly. So, because the blade takes a couple seconds to materialize and come down, right?
Yeah, it's 12 inches wide. I mean, ish.
But he's a rogue.
So, I assume he's got some chest.
That's how you get a concussion.
I think you're giving me a lot of credit there, Wyloch. I don't know if I'm that thin. All right, hold up my bandaged hand.
You're a little thinner now.
You've done your due.
I'm more than willing to take a look around and see what I can find out while you're phasing, spelunking, whatever you want to call it.
So for walk through walls, it specifically says you can't pass through energy barriers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's what this is, but I'm assuming it is and don't want to risk it.
That's a good assumption.
So I want to immediately to the left of the door frame, the mirror frame, I'm going to reach out, eyes go white, and I start to materialize into the wall.
Okay. At what angle are you materializing into the wall?
At what angle? Well, I'm going 45 degrees. So like you're reversed from me. So, but basically as if I wanted to get to the center of behind the mirror, basically where the torch would have hit.
Okay. So as you try to pass through the wall the mirror is on, you realize you're unable to pass through that entire part of the wall. You could, however, as you're kind of like feeling around to see where you can force yourself through, you can pass through either of the walls of the corridor, just not the mirrored wall. Whatever that mirrored wall is made out of prevents you from moving through it.
But it's not Numenera.
No, it is Numenera. It's a level 2 Numenera.
The wall itself is also Numenera?
The whole thing. The whole wall.
Ah, okay. Okay. I was about to say that's an interesting plot wall.
Yeah, no, that whole wall is a Numenera device. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I wasn't more specific there. Yeah, no, not just the mirror itself, the entire mirror wall.
No dice here, my friends, but over here, what do you think?
Are you thinking you'll just like swoop around, or can you only move in one direction?
Well, when I'm passing through, I can't perceive anything. I assume I can still like tell, like I'm still conscious. So what I would do is after, say, let's see, 1 inch per round. I don't know how long a round is, but if I haven't gotten through like 2 feet of material, then after that amount of time, I would start to reverse and back out. Okay.
So are you just going straight 2 feet, or are you turning this and whipping around, as Silica put it?
Well, the two, I don't attempt to turn while I'm in the material because that wall's already Numeneran. So the north wall, we'll call it.
Yeah.
So should I go in the east or the west wall?
50-50.
East.
Okay.
All right.
So you begin to phase through, and you watch him push in and slowly begin to disappear into the wall. What are the two of you doing as he slowly and quietly phases through what looks to be solid stone?
Zariff is getting very frustrated. He's usually good about this stuff, and Ted's brain must not be on because I'm certain there's something there that I'm just not seeing. And I'm looking for there's something. If there's nothing on the frame, I'm gonna look around, my stuff to see, like, is there anything that I can poke and prod, in quick succession. You would say it takes like 3 minutes or 3 seconds roughly for the thing, the blade of liquid to cut through.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try and like dip one of these metal bars into the edges to see if anything happens that way.
Okay. So as
I'm trying to do it quickly so that I'm not losing my tools.
Yeah. So we'll say they're small enough that you can, like, you put them towards the bottom and you're easily able to beat the time of this thing, right? So as you poke your metal tools in and out of this liquid metal, it, like, when you pull it out, it like bloop, like a reverse drop, like a drop of water. So you kind of like pull it out and it's like bloop, and it sort of ripples, and the whole thing ripples and flows back together. And as soon as you're out, you see that the blade just sort of becomes liquid again. So it starts to form, and then as soon as you're out of the mirror, it begins to not form anymore. But you just continue this like bloop, 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 and it ripples out, and then the blade forms and deforms and forms and deforms. But there's no resistance. It's like you're poking through like into a lake. And no matter where you poke, you're not hitting anything. There just seems to be open air, well, at least a foot of open air, as far as you know.
Is there any liquid coming out when I pull the tool out?
No. Well, yes, actually. You see it like bloop, like a drop of it, but it sucks back into the mirror.
Can I take out the blue cloak? Because, I like my black one.
Sure.
So I want to like pull it out and trap the liquid.
Okay. Roll me a speed defense 4. Or a speed test 4.
I like where this is going.
Yes, Ted takes more damage. She likes it.
You're not putting yourself in harm's way. You're just putting your clothing in harm's way. There's a difference.
So you sort of bloop, and you try to get the cloak up there, but it hits your cloak and begins to slowly melt through, and then bloop, it hits it goes back into the mirror.
All right, blue cloak with hole.
But for a second, it looks kind of like mercury on liquid, or mercury on material, until it passes its way through. Silica, what are you doing?
Before, when putting the torch through, did it just cut to the torch and then stop, or did it continue all the way to the bottom?
So it's imagine it's like a 2-inch bar that just slides down. It just forms and deforms behind it, and then once it hit the bottom, that was it. It was fully liquid again.
Okay. And then when Zariff was searching, he didn't find any sort of like symbology that we've seen before.
No, it's just a very fancy, ornate, maybe floral. There's no like 9-petal rose, no 8-petal rose. It just seems to be what's that word? Filigree all around this thing.
Okay. Oh boy.
Could try sticking your hand in again.
Yeah, I actually do want to stick my hand in there. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I do.
You can.
How quick are you?
I'm pretty fast, and I get the trick of the mirror now, and so I want to try to stick my hand in there and touch the back wall, but still pull out. If I feel like I have time for that.
Okay.
But I want to do it towards the bottom, because I'm thinking like, how do I get this like mercury-ish thing to run out of the mirror and into these holes that Zariff found? And I don't know if like, I just don't know. So I just want to test a couple of things.
Good luck.
So what exactly are you doing here? Just jamming your hand in there to the back of the wall and see what happens?
And no, because I want my hand back. So I want to put my hand out, hokey pokey. Put your left hand in, put your left hand out.
How far are you going?
To the back of the to where I think the back of the wall is.
Okay.
And I'm thinking with the intention of I know I'm gonna hit the wall and pull and just jerk it right back.
Okay.
That I should be fast.
So this is like right at the ground. In order for that to happen, she needs to be like sitting on her knees.
Yeah, I'm crouched down.
So I'm gonna put my hands on her shoulders.
Okay.
So as soon as I feel her giving back,
Yep.
I'm going to help and pull.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So that'll give you an asset on your speed defense roll. So
Okay.
you jab your hand in there and roll me a speed defense 4.
Okay. Can I use my balancing at all for this either, or is that?
Tell me how.
So, I mean, I'm up against the mirror wall situation. Like my feet probably have purchase. So not only is Zariff pulling me back, but I can also push myself with my feet. And I think I'm crouched.
So like
but
a
I'm
calculated
balancing.
tumble. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm pushing myself back with one foot. So
Okay.
that's where like the balancing.
I'll use that. I'll say yeah. Good sell.
Sweet.
So balancing and an asset.
I don't know that I could fail this, but I probably could.
So you didn't.
But I don't.
You didn't.
Yeah.
So you shove your hand through this cold liquid, and you realize that once you pass through, there's only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of liquid before your hand is out in open air. And you sort of jam your hand back to the wall, expecting to hit solid surface and like curl your knuckles in. What you hit before you hit the back of the wall is your hand skims what feels like a shaft. You sort of grab around it and yank your hand back as quick as possible as the blade sinks down and Zariff yanks you back. And you hear a click, and the entire wall becomes liquid and begins falling into these holes. And you see that as it falls, there are actually holes on the other side, and the liquid wall just begins seeping into all of the holes as the drainage in the bottom. And
Well done, Silica.
You are met with a large room on the other side.
I want to wait till Wyloch gets back. Where's Wyloch?
Wyloch, you take a good solid 10-15 minutes phasing through the wall as they are trying to puzzle this thing out before you turn back and realize that, unfortunately for you, the wall you phase through, the room beyond is hexagonal, and you just followed the wall the entire way down. So you turn back and emerge from the wall as they're waiting for you, and the liquid thing is still draining down. But you are there.
There was a lever.
Well done.
Yeah. Congratulations, guys. So, beyond here, you see a massive stone chamber, ornate, much like the way this is. Entirely made out of marble. there are large decorative pillars that are all along the walls, and a large statue of the queen, half again, like it's 1.5 times as large, between these two pillars on either side of this large room. And in the middle is a sarcophagus made of beautiful marble.
So is this the statue that's a potent guardian?
I mean, you don't know. There was a statue of the queen that shot lasers out of her eyes. So
yeah, but you never. I mean, I just don't trust it.
Yeah.
All right.
Nothing is safe. Unless the mirror was the thing that we needed to get through to like prove ourselves. I will be the first one to step forward though.
Okay.
Since I had such good luck with the previous statue.
I will still keep my eyes out for things that stepping on or swinging or what have you.
I mean, and if Wyloch wants to keep an eye out in whatever 5th dimension he's working on.
Yeah.
5, don't be coy. He likes 8.
5 dimensions, whichever 5 dimensions he chooses. So Zariff, I'll have you roll me searching difficulty 4, if you would. Silica, what are you doing? You're just walking forward?
I'm going to lead the group once we have the go ahead. Since I had good luck, I will be the first to kind of expose myself to the statue vulnerably.
Okay, dope. And Wyloch, what are you doing?
I'm trying to hone in on that original signal that I felt to the north of the city, that beacon, that really strong Numenera.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if it's in this room.
Roll me a Numenera 4.
Yep.
You still feel it pulsing beyond this room.
Okay. I'm kind of frozen in confusion for a moment.
Well, this might have all been for naught.
So, Zariff, you see nothing. You sense no traps. You have finally made it, as one would say. Silica, you begin walking forward, and you see that at the base of the sarcophagus facing you, there is what looks at first glance to be part of it, but appears to be a marble chest, matching the marble inlay and design of the sarcophagus itself. And as you walk closer, you see that there's a large gold plaque on the sarcophagus. Do you continue?
Yes. Can I read from here what it says? Like, is it in the common tongue?
It is written in the truth. And from here, you read that it says, "Here lies Queen Starliset, greatest monarch of our time, just, wise, and beautiful, who loved her subjects as her children."
All right, she seems fine. Cool. Let's. I'm moving forward. This seems fine.
Yeah, you guys are totally fine. So yeah, you see that there's what you thought was a beautiful sarcophagus in the previous chamber, the false tomb. You see what is 10 times more beautiful, with the same depictions of floral bouquets. You see that there's like wide open meadows with her and like flowers and like everything, and it looks like she's inlaid on a bed of like flowers, and you see her arms are crossed in repose, and holding in her hand is an actual flower with the 9-petal rose on it.
All right, boys,
she looks beautiful.
This is the real deal this time. So be respectful.
Sure. Do whatever you guys want.
Of course.
Cool. So what are you guys doing?
Silica said that she wishes to take the lead, so I'm keeping my eyes peeled for anything that I need to be worried about. But other than that, I'm following behind.
Okay. So you approach the sarcophagus, Silica?
Yeah.
It looks amazing. You see that there is a seam. There is a lid on this thing. You could remove if you so choose. You could also open the chest.
I don't like the idea of grave robbing. Never have. So I'm actually going to go for the chest because opening up the sarcophagi itself is a little off-putting to me at the moment.
Sure.
And I still don't really understand why we're here, except to get to the bottom of this mystery we accidentally stumbled upon.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. So You immediately realize that this is far too heavy for you, but you have two friends that can help you, and the three of you, or at least the two of you combined, can easily lift off the top of the marble lid of this chest. Inside, you find no traps, no explosives, no poison gas. You find a very lovely vase. Inlaid. If you look inside the vase, you can actually see the 9-petal rose inside the vase, in its base. And it is inlaid with all kinds of floral patterns and what looks to be like gold etchings and trim. There is a beautiful crystalline sculpture of a broad-winged bird. There is a copper diorama that looks to be an elegant depiction of the Queen's throne room. You see probably something that might you know, like, first of all of this thing is like Zariff is losing his mind, probably. But Wyloch, you see a book in there, and as you kind of see it, it looks like all the pages are gilded, but upon further inspection, all of the pages are in fact hammered silver. They are hammered paper thin, and the cover is inlaid with, or is engraved with this some kind of weird synth metal, and the book details the lineage of Queen Starliset. There's also several other strange things that would require further inspection. Wyloch, you immediately are boop, 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 and these are some Numeneran devices. You see a strange metal disc that appears to have been made into some manner of lapel pin. You see, bless you, you see what looks to be like a gavel or a maul or some kind of large blunted weapon. And you see a...
How big is this chest?
Oh, it's big. It's a big chest. It's so basically, if you think of a sarcophagus, the width of a sarcophagus, this chest is equal in width and about half as high again as the sarcophagus.
Oh,
yeah. This is I was big...
thinking chest, not
no. Yeah. This is like this is like the one that you put at the end of your bed. Like, this is a big old chest. You see a copper ring about the size of a bracelet.
Wyloch, are you getting, what kind of Numeneran signals are you getting?
These three, and I point to those. And how does it, so to identify what they are, I have my book of Numenera and my universal experience.
The first one is a Numenera 5 check.
Okay.
And the second one is a Numenera 4 check.
Okay, 5. No good on the first one.
No dice on the 5. Ooh, super success. Good job. So that was the strange gavel. So what you find here is this is a level 4 artifact called the Temporal Maul. This time displacement device has been placed at the end of a metal haft, turn it into a heavy weapon. It constantly shifts back and forth through momentum and time, making it very difficult to defend against. All attacks made with the maul have an asset that decreases the difficulty of the attack by 1. And it depletes 1 in 100. It is a hell of a lot.
What does that mean?
So when you use it, so like the Yesterglass depletes 1 in 6, which means if you roll a d6 and you roll a 1, it's gone. This one, when you use it, you roll a d100, and on a 1, it's gone.
So is that a D100 per attack or per combat?
I'll say per combat. Per scene it's used in. So here's...
Are you going to put that in the chat?
Yeah, that's what you get.
Thanks.
So that's something that I think Arri would like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I know what the maul is now.
Yep.
And I kind of just toss it around and I'm rummaging through looking for an awesome looking impossible blade.
You don't find one. What I will let you do is, because you rolled a nat 20 on a discovery thing, I won't screw you over, and I will let you re-roll that first Numenera 5.
Oh, okay.
Let me take a second look at that.
Yeah.
Hey,
and you succeed.
Right.
Okay, cool. So this level 5 occultic cipher is a metal lapel pin. It creates a cloaking field that effectively makes the user invisible and completely silent for 1 minute. When invisible, the user is specialized in stealth and speed defense. This effect ends if they do anything to reveal their position, attacking, performing spells, and all that kind of stuff. And you can regain the effect by taking an action to hide. So, take that.
All right.
I put those both in chat for you.
Is there anything special about the bracelet?
Do you pick it up?
If Silica gives leave to, yes.
Yeah. Since we're looking through this, we haven't discovered like that. Messing with it is going to trigger any traps or anything. I think that it's fine to, but don't take anything yet.
I'm just looking.
So if you kind of pick up this bracelet, it's like I said, it's roughly the size of a bracelet. And I assume you kind of like just look it over and give it like a twirl or a spin. This is what's called an oddity. And you, as soon as you begin to like spin it on your finger and like, examine it, it just continuously perpetual motions on your finger. So you feel like as if you put it around a finger-shaped thing or your wrist or whatever and spin it, it just continuously spins forever.
That's pretty cool. I like it.
That's pretty sweet.
It is pretty cool. But Zariff, since you're looking in there, this is your field of expertise. So go ahead and roll me searching. Difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5. Nope.
Yep, you find that sweet little copper ring, and you pick it up, and you are for sure positive that there's nothing else in that box.
So we have emptied the chest of its.
You have emptied the contents of the chest. That is correct.
I would love to pass out loot, since it's not going to be doing this queen any good, and anything that will help us on our mission, I think is worth taking. So probably the maul to Arri and the cloaking pin. Who would that better serve? I know Zariff already has like really good stealth. Like stealth stats. What's the word I'm looking for? Stealth abilities, skills.
That should go to somebody who can't already do it.
Maybe Wyloch then. I think I could serve Wyloch really well.
I was thinking you.
I want the book. Like the thing that Silica is most interested in is the ancestry book to look over at a later date, because if there is some connection, it doesn't. No, in no possible way does it go to the modern age.
So is there something you want, Wyloch?
I was just wanted an impossible blade. I step away, kind of dejected, and start looking at the wall.
All right, I guess I'll grab the lapel then.
Okay.
And Zariff got himself a nice little oddity.
He did get a sweet little oddity.
So what is this thing called?
It's a we'll call it whatever you like. It's just called an oddity. The oddities don't have fun, cool names.
Okay.
They're just weird bits of Numenera that just are weird. You were gonna say something, Silica?
Nope, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm saying nothing. Nothing is said.
Wyloch, dejected and saddened that there is no impossible blade here at all, you begin to kind of wander around the room. There is a door on the opposite side of which you walked in on. It looks identical, because you have a keen eye for these kind of things, like the door that Zariff put his hand on and irised open.
Do you want to phase in and see what's actually in the sarcophagus?
To be clear, when I reached out to sense, I didn't sense anything from inside the sarcophagus.
Correct.
Okay. Well, seeing as how sensitive that one is, And
it was a question to the group, not just a Wyloch. I've been very deferential to your ancestors.
Sassy Wyloch. Sassy Wyloch. I feel at this point, again, even though I don't want to disturb the dead, I'm kind of not morally against it so much as just sort of the social kind of stigma around disturbing the dead.
Yep.
But I think at this point we kind of have to, in order to really get a sense of closure on this experience. So I think we should open it and just see and make sure she's there. And I don't know.
She speaks truth to power. And I walk back to the sarcophagus.
And so I'll help him move that big stone slab aside.
Okay, you do. Collectively, you guys bemoan and push the slab aside. There you see a non-preserved version of the queen in her elegant but still, destroyed regal robes. And clutched in her hand is a long wooden and gold encrusted box that runs from nape to navel.
Is it sword-sized?
It's roughly sword-sized.
Huh, okay. I will grab this one.
You just grab the box, or do you open it?
I just
can we look first?
Oh. Yeah, Zariff, you wanna peek? Make sure there's nothing gonna booby trap us here.
You could try.
I mean, we did do some trap sensing earlier, but I guess this is kind of a different interior thing happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a roll, sir?
Yeah, it's a difficulty 4, if you so choose.
I choose. I kind of like to make sure that my companions don't get hurt.
Are you sure that's what you like to do?
Yeah.
Cool. So describe to me how you check the box over for traps.
Well, I mean, typically, this is I don't do a lot of grave robbing. This is not really my my forte.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk the circuit, walk around, see what I can see if there's any rope, see if there's any sigils on or underneath. You kind of carefully look under, push up a little bit on with a dagger or blade or some kind. And once I'm confident that everything is good,
sure. So
all right.
So once your blade comes into contact with this box, it immediately has far more give than you expected, as the box immediately crumbles away in its decrepit state, revealing nothing. There was no contents in that box. Shatters and falls to pieces.
This makes sense. I sense nothing here.
So a box for no reason, unless there was a blade in here once upon a time, but has been removed from its resting place, and that's what you've been sensing all along. And this has just been a wild goose chase.
I certainly sense something beyond, and I nod to the other door.
All right. I don't think there's anything. We have been delayed and belayed and long enough. We've gotten what we came here. We have the closure that we were looking for, but the impossible blade does not rest here, is what we know, and so we must continue.
Yep.
Before we step away, I again look to Silica's arm, and then I poke the corpse's arm, just for a voodoo doll type of relationship.
And I just backhand him. Why are you touching the corpse?
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Looking for temporal causal relationships.
So we have to put the top back on.
Yes, please.
You guys are able to. through struggle and grit, you guys are able to slide the lid back on, and the lid of the chest, if you so choose, to leave things as you found them.
Yep, that's the plan. And I think we're all putting the vase and the bird and some of the other stuff back in there as well. Just taking those Numeneran and then of course the ancestry book.
Absolutely.
So say a prayer, not that it's probably even culturally significant anymore,
right.
but
it's the thought that counts, though.
Respect to the dead, and head towards the door.
Sure. And again, you both immediately, or all three of you, notice immediately that it is the same iris door that you placed your hand upon and spiraled out.
So I just wait for Zariff to do it.
So, you guys know that, notice that I'm moving a little bit slower. Not too thrilled about that. Not going the way he expected it. Reach out and palm on the door.
Because we can't go back. I'm not looking forward to what probably awaits us ahead, but we can't go back.
Okay. So you palm on the door.
Has all fingers?
What's that?
Are you using the hand that has all your fingers? Because it might not. I'm just saying, like a scan.
I use the right hand, and if it doesn't work, then I use the left hand.
That's great. You put your hand on, and iris is out, and you see beyond this irised open door that there is a large, thrumming red force field about 15 feet in front of you. That's just existing there. Yeah, that's what you see.
And that's it? Just a force field there?
Just a force field. Yeah, 15 feet out, you see a force field, and then the hallway continues past that. You can see it's not opaque. You can see through it. But that's all you see currently.
So if you step through the door, is there some kind of switch or anything over here?
Roll me searching for.
I would also like to look.
Absolutely. You can either roll searching for, or you can give him an asset.
I'll just give Zariff an asset since he's got the goods.
I don't have the goods anymore.
I mean, it's been we started off strong.
You see that on the opposite side of the force field, there is a box similar to the one you used with that weird glass tube. Seems to have buttons on it that could be depressed. You hope would destabilize this force field.
You guys have any ideas?
I find it weird that if that box over there would take down the force field, that it would be on that side as opposed to this side. That seems odd. It's almost as if they're trying to keep something on that side out from this side.
Could be. Or you could have notes on this.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're not supposed to go beyond the...
Right, but I don't know how we get back if we're not supposed to go. Creatures not of this world are past the tomb. Maybe we should go back into the tomb room and see if there is some other exit, or we could try going back through the mirrored room. But there was no button to use the tube from the I don't know if I would know the word dematerialization, but there didn't seem to be a way to get back that way either. So unless we can find something, some sort of clue inside the tomb, maybe with a statue, if we took a closer look at it. Are you guys willing to go back and take a look with me?
Absolutely. Do we know who has this device?
You.
I have a device?
You.
Okay.
When you fell in a pit.
I don't see any notes here.
You took it off a corpse.
I have a synth disc that restores rotten fruit.
What's that on your head?
Is there a thing on my head?
You have a helmet on.
Oh.
You just put on and never. You were just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll put this on, and then you never did anything with it.
I honestly never even wrote this down.
Yeah, you have a helmet.
Okay, well then, sure. Hey, Wyloch, do you want to take a look at this helmet?
Certainly, the one with the octagonal shape on the back.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
The one that everyone remembers except for Ted. That one. Yeah, for sure.
all right. Difficulty?
You take a look at this. You can clearly tell that it's a Numeneran device, and it looks like it is a powerful Numeneran device. You wouldn't quite qualify it as an artifact, but it looks like it's pretty high up there. It's a level 6.
Okay, 6 to identify.
Yep.
So, can I give him, any of the knowledge that Ted doesn't remember at all about where this thing came from to see if that might assist him in his identification of it?
I will say yes, but it will be a bonus and not an asset. Because all the knowledge you have is tangential. Okay. Unfortunately, you don't know what this thing does.
Before you continue,
sure.
I should have done this on the the actual check, but XP can be used to do a reroll.
It can be.
Do we want to reroll on this, Wyloch?
Wanted to get some more edge, but all right.
Well, we got one more session after this, and we kind of need to be able to get out of here.
Yeah, I can't figure it out, and then I get a bit pissed off, and so I start to really focus, and I'm going to reroll. So I'll burn an XP.
Feel free to spend any effort if you'd like to as well. How about that?
Right. So it's a 7.
It's a 6.
It's a 6.
Yeah.
And I can do effort again. No asset.
You still got a bonus.
You rolled one better. So, on the downside, you don't know what this does. On the bright side of Numenera, that doesn't stop you from using it. You just don't know what's going to happen when you do it. So you can pop this back in your head and flick that switch and see what happens.
If you decide to do that, we should all hold hands. I'm just saying.
I just want to know what's in your head. What do you think it does?
Well, if it's like a so Silica, I don't like Numenera is just like way outside my understanding. And so it's just like, well, if it takes him somewhere, we want to be connected to him. Like that's my rationalization is like, if this is going to like boop him out of existence to a safe place, we want to go with, and maybe if we're holding hands, that's
okay. Yeah. No.
There's thought.
Yeah. I just wanted to know what it was. I just wanted to see where the process went.
That's what it is.
You can flick this thing on. You can always use Numenera without knowing what it does. It's just a surprise.
So is that so boys, is that the better option than trying to get past this force field? Or maybe this just takes us past the force field, there's no knowing. Or this kills us instantaneously and the island is doomed.
Well,
it was on a dead guy, so I mean, it didn't do too great for him.
There is that, but lots of things can be found on dead folks. We're not supposed. The notes say not to go past the tomb.
The note just says that there are things past the tomb. It doesn't tell you whether to go there or not. It just says there are things past there.
I thought it said otherworldly and dangerous things are beyond there.
And it does, but it doesn't tell you to go there. It doesn't tell you whether or not to go there. Right. It just says an area lies beyond the tomb, and it is the home of creatures not of the ninth world, or not of this world.
Yeah, to me that sounds like don't go there.
Okay, yeah. The note doesn't say that. Zariff says that.
Right. Silica's also thinking that. I mean, nothing about creatures not of this world. I mean, it sounds good. Nothing sounds good.
This thing is beyond my abilities. A test cadaver could work. And I look back through the door to the sarcophagus.
No.
No? It's a helmet, right?
The helmet's a helmet. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, so to be fair, Zariff was wearing it this entire time.
Oh, okay, but
Yeah.
it hasn't been turned on.
No, you have to activate it.
Well, if we're leery of turning it on, then we could take it off of your head and turn it on, or we could put it on some sort of test subject.
Well, if you put it on a test subject, and as Silica says, it takes it somewhere, then whatever you put it on goes away, and we lose it.
Got to figure there's a guy at the bottom of a pit, and if it could have taken him somewhere, he would have used it.
Unless the spikes down first, but
He was impaled.
died in the fall.
Yeah, he was impaled pretty hard.
I'm still feeling the pull towards the end of this corridor, right?
Correct.
It's definitely down there.
Correct.
We're after.
Yes.
Does he feel it's close, or does he feel it's far away?
I mean, close in a relative sense. Like, it's not like the other way of the tomb, right? It's nearby.
so Wyloch wants to stay and to go down the corridor.
I do.
Maybe. So here's what we do. I don't like the idea of dealing with creatures not of this world. However, if we get into a dire circumstance, using the helmet at that time doesn't do us any more harm than what we're potentially facing.
That's true.
So perhaps we should try to find our way through this red, I don't know, wall, the see-through wall.
Are we still right there?
Yes. You are between the now closed iris door and the shield.
All right. I fire an arrow at the force field.
It immediately disintegrates.
That's what I expected to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that, it might pass through damaged, and that maybe I could, snap the tip off and try to hit the button on the other side.
What? Wasn't there something about the iris on the helmet that there was like a red something on it?
There is an iris on the back of the helmet, for sure.
It's just an iris?
Yep. Similar
so there's
to
no like there's no red buttons or any sort of thing like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Is quite conveniently an energy barrier.
Conveniently.
Mm-hmm.
Does the energy go beyond the room?
I tell you what does go beyond the room. This XP that goes to Wyloch. And Wyloch, you get to give 1 XP to someone else.
Oh, okay. So XP.
Time for a GM intrusion.
I will give 1 to when there's only 2 of you, it's like favoritism. Ted for all
I have 3, so if that makes a difference.
Zariff for all the heartache.
Thank you, Wyloch.
So you guys,
ones I rolled this game is ridiculous.
So you guys have been discussing and debating what to do here in this corridor for a fair amount of time, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
One could say. And in such time, you have had a visitor approach you, going seemingly unnoticed as you more or less argued amongst yourselves on whether to go forward or to go backward. And you are all stunned in surprise as Wyloch probably looks out first and sees... Can I load this up here real quick? Sees this really cool monster I'm about to load up in here. Oh yeah, that guy. Right there. Can you guys see that on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that.
What? Oh.
You see that. You see 2 of that floating off the ground towards the energy barrier. Eyeball blinking, one of the brains turns to the other, blinks, and then they both wordlessly move towards the energy barrier. What are you guys doing? Nope, they're just moving it towards it. Like, they're on the other side of it, moving towards you.
Oh.
What do you guys do?
Oh, the energy barrier clearly is going to protect us.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so you guys stand there as you see both of these creatures shift phase similar to the way that Wyloch does Except when they do it, they seamlessly pass through this energy barrier, and it crackles and simmers around them as they just sort of through this thing.
So as soon as this thing crosses into our side, I put an arrow in the eye.
Okay, you may roll for that. It is difficulty 3.
All right, well, I guess I'm also equipping my shield, and my forearm blade shrinks out. Shrink.
Sure.
Zariff is just like, these are obviously bad guys. I mean, they're obviously bad guys. These are like nightmare material. I think these are called nightmares.
Difficulty
3.
Of course.
Okay, so you fire on this thing. Unfortunately, while in its energy state, as it's passing through the barrier, your thing hits and then passes right through it, hits the energy barrier, it disintegrates.
So if any of you guys know what I've done to anger the dice gods with this campaign, are you even
wearing the necklace? Like
I am, and it's got 20 side out. It's
Silica, you, as we're preparing your blades, I'll let you get an attack in if you so choose.
I'm not going to. Does it seem to have noticed that it was attacked?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Oh, my gosh. All right.
So, Silica, you're kind of hesitating, like you didn't want him to attack?
You know how I like to talk to monsters.
Yeah, I felt the same way. So if you're like, you were sort of motioning, but too late, and I was doing that too, maybe they'll see that we're
trying to stop him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
well,
that
it seems like it's still phasing, and I just saw 2 arrows disintegrate in the force field. So I don't want to be anywhere near the force field. So I'm gonna wait and see what happens when they move through, and see if there's any rescuing this situation.
Sure. So they form all the way through, and you see that their energy form shimmers and they re-solidify into what looks to be a brain with a spinal cord coming out of it and a giant eyeball on the tip.
Yep.
And they just wordlessly float there for a second, kind of looking back and forth between themselves and the two of you who have sort of stepped up in front of Zariff. Zariff, you have you have your bow drawn. What are you doing? They seem to be far more solid this time.
Well, my companions have decided not to, treat these things as hostiles. I've made a lot of mistakes, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna hold off.
Seeing that what they're capable of, I shift out of phase,
mm-hmm.
and then I attempt to communicate with them. I attempt to say, I sort of look at Silica like, like in the movie when someone's got an earpiece and, there's a bit going on. So I'm like looking to Silica for sort of a cue, like hoping that I can communicate that we have something in common, them and I. So what do I tell them?
I mean, you're out of phase now, so I don't know if I can communicate with you.
You can.
I see sort of. Oh, okay.
You can.
We need to figure out how to get through that barrier. So first of all, we should probably apologize for shooting them with an arrow. Our friend was
shot at them.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. We didn't actually hurt them, it seems like. So our apologies for our quick actions. We're not.
Apologies for our.
We're not from this town.
Okay, so because Silica is using the words and Wyloch is performing a pretty smart action, I will let Silica roll this with an asset for Wyloch, and you can use your speaking, and it is a difficulty 5.
Okay, so
because they are now agitated.
Positive and pleasant social interactions.
Yep, with 1 asset for Wyloch's being phased.
Okay, I will exert an effort because that seems wise. An asset for Wyloch, no bonuses. How even? How? XP. I'm re-rolling. I want it that badly. You said difficulty 5?
I did.
Okay, just double checking.
I mean, you did shoot at one of them.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. So they float wordlessly next to you, and one of them turns towards Wyloch. and begins to move its spinal cord with all of its, synapses towards you, like as if to grab you. But it's doing it slow and staring at you the entire time, as if almost asking for permission.
It's coming at me.
Don't look at me, Wyloch. Like this, like I'm slugged. It's probably easier to comply.
Fair enough. Let's get weird. So I just stand there and let it go.
So it kind of swims over to you in the air, right? And its spinal cord just sort of rakes down your back, and you can feel it just pinch into you as all the synapses just sort of stab into your spine. And you see its eye kind of go milky white, and then the rest of you see the gem glow, and you hear a voice that is not quite Wyloch's turn to you and say, "Why are you here?"
Oh, okay. Wyloch has become its mouthpiece now. I understand. We have come here to defeat the insidious choir. We are looking for the impossible blade, which rests in the tomb, or used to rest in the tomb.
What makes you think you're worthy of wielding it?
We have one with us who is blessed by Arri.
You look at your notes.
I'm impressed she got it.
It was nice.
It says, the
Positive
insectoid...
social.
Yeah, the insectoid creature has no bearing on us.
The insectoid creature has no bearing on us?
Speaking of Arri.
Ah. I also believe that I am a descendant of the Queen Starliset. Whether that makes me worthy to wield the blade remains to be seen.
Roll me positive interactions. Difficulty 3.
Ooh. Smiling. Difficulty 3. I have more XP to burn. I will burn. Do I get any sort of asset for like Wyloch being
here's the mechanics of this, right? So normally they're a difficulty 3. When agitated, they're a difficulty 5. You have now swayed them back down to their normal state. So those are essentially your assets.
I'll take it.
Jesus
and I'll take
Christ.
it with pizzazz.
Yeah, you do. You see it
mental high five to Wyloch.
You see it turn, and with it Wyloch turns and walks almost up to the field, and you see it go out of phase in its way, where it becomes like this lightning storm essentially down it, and strangely enough you see Wyloch do the same, and you see him phase in a way he's never phased before, and walks through, raises a hand and presses the button, and then the field goes away. And it unravels from his neck and pulls back. And you see it look to the other one, and they look to each other, and they just turn and begin to float down the corridor.
Well, before they can begin to flee, I want to apologize.
Okay. roll me intelligence difficulty 3 and form your apology.
Oh, I thought you meant to us. Oh, okay.
I love sassy Wyloch. It's so great. My goodness.
So before you depart, I offer my apologies. There's been much down here that we've had to deal with, and my apologies for perceiving you as a threat as opposed to an aid. Please.
Okay. You see them stop and look at you, and then wordlessly turn and begin to float away. Seemingly they cannot talk. Wyloch, you now have a strange fundamental understanding of what the hell these things are because it was inside your brain. They are called Eerilians, and they are creatures from beyond this world. They have their energy form and they have their physical form, and they are just super weird. And they often exist in like strange, dank places or in space.
I relay that to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the great dark beyond.
Fifth piece fulfilled.
So you have passed the barrier. This extends about 10 more feet of this hallway before opening up into a large series of chambers. As you exit this hallway, there is a large chamber to your right. You can see that there's a door in that chamber leading somewhere else. And you can see that there is a hallway leading out into an expanse of various spidering off rooms to the left. You have an open chamber to your right with a door in it, and a large spidering out chamber to your left.
Wasn't there another box at the end of the hallway you said earlier?
The box was what you pressed to deactivate the field. There's a box with a bunch of buttons and... Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So that's what you see as you kind of walk past this area. Where are you guys going? You see, if you're following these guys, they float and move off to the right.
The right is the smaller.
Do we get the sense that they're leading us somewhat, like maybe leading us to the blade?
You don't.
Really no
you get the sense that they have left you alone. You have appeased their inquisitive nature.
They're doing their own thing now.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm still curious about them, but I think I will defer to Wyloch and see if there's any sort of bloodhound Numenera senses going on.
Yes. So I do that. Do I have any sense of which direction I want to go?
Which direction the blade is?
Well, or whatever that beacon is, if it is indeed the blade. Whatever this powerful thing is.
You have a feeling that it is to the left.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I turn to my left and just start going.
Tell you what, give me a Numenera 5 test. 4 test. Numenera 4 test.
Okay. Oh.
You feel it pulling to the left.
So, I turn to my right, take 2 steps, then do a 180, and go off to the corner on the left, and just start walking.
All right. I feel comfortable just following behind him because I don't particularly want to waste more time getting sidetracked by things. We found the tomb. We've gotten through the 5 trials, so to speak, and probably have learned all we need to learn about this area. Anything else is probably just extra, I would think.
Yeah.
But
okay, cool.
Zariff?
I'm right there with you.
I know you want to explore like every nook and cranny, but
yeah, I mean we are pressed for time. I mean, we don't even know like how long we've been down here, let alone whether our ship is still waiting for us.
Mm-hmm.
We might do this and solve the problem and never actually make it home.
Okay, that's the Zariff I know. All right, let's go.
Perfect. So you guys take a left turn, and there before you hear the sound of churning mechanisms coming from below. And as you walk forward, this chamber is just overwhelmingly hot. And you can see that there's like a large, thick grate in front of you, extending about 15 by 15, kind of blocking the entire path you can choose to go on. And there's these weird, suctioning, puckering holes in the ground.
Is it great or is it just kind of good?
It's great. I think it's great, at least.
Oh my gosh, the dad humor. So it's like there's like sucking noises and
there's churning mechanisms, and then you can see these holes kind of opening and closing, like puckery.
All right, but we haven't seen anything like this yet before.
Nope. It's swelteringly hot right here as well.
So it's like a catwalk that goes over this machinery?
Yep.
Okay. Is there a door at the other end?
Nope. It's an open, expansive hallway. It continues past.
Okay, yeah, I've been walking around. It completely doesn't phase me. I just keep on walking.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you continue to walk.
He's tuned into the signal and he's just going.
Yeah. So I'll say, yeah, perfect. So you feel it still coming from in front of you. You begin to walk across this. Does everyone follow him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Silica, you haven't been picked on recently. Take an XP and give one to someone else.
Oh, lovely. I will give one to Wyloch, since he's kind of our bloodhound here.
Okay.
All right.
Now make me a speed difficulty 4.
Okay. I'm not prepared at all, so I guess I can't probably use any of my shenanigans.
No.
Yeah.
So you see, as you're passing across these puckering holes, you see that out of several of them, 2 adjacent to you, one on the far end, one on the other end, just in a gout of hot steam explodes forth from these, and you take 5 might damage as you are unable to maneuver out of the way as it sears into your flesh. And now you know exactly what the churning of these machines is.
Great.
I assume the rest of you pick up your pace and hurry out of these, across these things. You find yourself in a large chamber. You'll notice that the chamber breaks off to the right, continues forward, breaks off to the left, and then there's a weird diagonal tunnel farther down to the right. Which one would you like to go to?
I didn't follow that.
So there's a long tunnel in front of you. It shifts. It takes a left turn all the way at the end. Right near you, it takes a right turn, and then all the way at the end in the right corner, the far right corner, there's a diagonal hallway that leads somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Which one of these would you like to go to?
I'm still just advancing and wondering where does it...
I'm going to have you roll me another Numenera 4 to see if you can discern where in here.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. So once you are in the central chamber, it's difficult to... You're close enough to it that it's difficult to tell exactly where this feeling is coming from as it kind of reverberates amongst these strange metallic walls.
You're so excited you can't get a beat on it.
Yeah.
So I'm still mid-stride and everything, and I kind of make a snap decision in my head. So the diagonal-looking corridor...
Yep.
Like a zigzag, you said?
No, it's just a long diagonal. Just cuts out of the corner of the wall.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
So the rest of them, basically the rest of them take a left turn or a right turn, and this one is diagonal off the corner of the wall. All of them still the strange metallic or synth material.
It's congested down here. I've lost it.
I like the diagonal.
All right, let's go for the diagonal.
Very good.
Okay. You go for the diagonal.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you begin to proceed down the diagonal hallway, you notice that it dips, in fact, lower than the floor you guys are on. And you guys emerge into a large chamber that appears to be almost like a temple. But everything in here appears to have some technological origin. There is a large raised metal platform that surrounds a column of pipes and conduits. There is window-like glass panels surrounding a dark sky, star-filled sky all over the walls. And a luminescent writing is etched throughout the metal, covering almost every surface of this place. And floating throughout the chamber are 6 of these Eerilians in their energy states, seemingly meditating. And in the center, you see... a much larger, much longer spinal cord, more synapses out of its energy state floating in the middle. And there's a weird thrum of energy in the air as you guys slowly walk into this room. What do you want to do?
Oh, make sure my weapons are put away.
That's a good call. As you kind of approach, you see that the lid of the eye on the one in the center is closed.
We should.
I don't know that we want to disturb them yet. I agree with Wyloch. Like we should probably just back out of here. Unless we literally see a blade. No.
Or another door.
Or another door, but like
Can I get a 180 of the
Search
room?
around in this room? Absolutely. Roll me a difficulty 4 searching.
Hey.
Success. You see below the large one in the center, there is floating what looks to be something you can't explain. There is data, code, energy. There is something solidified almost in front of him, but it's shifting and constantly changing.
Like impossibly?
Like impossibly. Think, for instance, if like you take the final scene of The Matrix, when you can see what Neo can see, and you just took a chunk out of it and left it dangling in the air. That's kind of what it looks like.
So I'm kind of gonna be agog for a moment at noticing this, and like just a second or two, and then I'll kind of quietly point it out to the other two.
Does this look like what I saw above the corpses over in that rich part of town? Like the victims of the insidious choir virus?
It doesn't, but it does feel reminiscently the same as when you looked down into the impossible depths of the tower back in the city at the center.
And this is underneath the large floating iridium.
Yep.
Whatever. What's it called again?
Eerilian.
Eerilian. Thanks.
So we could be respectful and just wait here to see if they come out of whatever their meditation is.
How much room is under that thing? Couple feet? It's
Yeah.
hovering?
Oh yeah, more than a couple feet. Like this thing is huge. It's way larger than the rest of them, and it's hovering probably a good 10, 12 feet off the ground. And this thing is hovering probably a good 3 feet below it.
We need to check it out.
We
Do I have any sort of sense as to what it is?
What that thing is?
Yeah,
You don't, but you feel inexplicably drawn towards it.
right. We've got to get under there.
all right, do we want to just wait and see if they will adjourn their meeting or whatever they're doing here at some point?
Adjourn their meeting.
Or what? Yes, adjourn their meeting. I know a business meeting when I see one. Please.
That's amazing.
So, or we can try to approach and interrupt them, but just touching things without doing either of those two things, I feel like was unwise.
Probably more unwise than shooting them.
Do I remember earlier the things that it said through me?
Yeah.
I do. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. You seemed to appease them earlier. You gained their favor. Maybe you should go up.
Okay, so I do.
Okay. How far up do you go? Do you walk right to the platform in the center?
I mean, so it's like a daze. So I assume that the big one is the probably leader.
That's a good assumption.
I mean, I would, because like my knowledge of just hierarchies in general, it's like, okay, this is the biggest one. It's in the center. It's the leader. So I'm going to approach not too closely. I don't want to invade on whatever sense of personal space it might have. And then I am going to kneel in front of it and wait for it to acknowledge me.
Okay, cool. So it does. You walk up to the platform, you kneel in front of it, and in front of this strange device below it. And you see it, after a while, it shifts and moves and begins to stir. And you see the head tilt down towards you, and the large eye in the center open up. And then you see 5 more eyes open up. And it looks down at you. And you can almost see the consternation on its face as it tries to figure out what the hell you are. And you see it shift forward in front of the object and begin to lower down. And its spine, its massive, thick tendril of a spine, begins to split into 6 different spines as it sort of hits the ground and you can actually see that each of the bases of the spine goes into some weird hole in this dais, and it just sort of plugs in. And you can see it cock its brain head towards you, and then throughout the room you hear, "What brings you?"
What brings us? We have come to prove ourselves worthy of wielding the impossible blade.
And why would you wield it?
We must rid this island of the insidious choir. And I don't break eye contact. I'm very focused, level.
So you staring more at the forehead, or do you pick an eye?
No, right in that center.
Well, you know that triangle where you do like eye, mouth, eye, mouth, right? You're just doing eye. It looks to you.
That eye contact.
Which eye? It looks to you and says, "And how would you wield it against the choir?"
Don't know yet.
I would wield it as the great benevolent queen Starlisette once did, if I am worthy.
Okay. Roll me a commence. It would be intelligence 5.
All right. Positive and pleasant social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Come on, you can do it.
5, you say? Is it mad at me for some reason?
This isn't the same as the other ones.
No.
Does her kneeling and essentially prostrating herself to this thing
give any sort of my humility in this situation? Does that?
I'll give you a bonus.
Because
I like the kneeling.
I will take a bonus. I would like to re-roll that.
You may.
Okay. Oh boy.
Come on, Silica. You can do it.
I'm supposed to be really good at this. Bonus. But the dice gods just don't want us. They don't like us tonight.
It looks down to you and you hear again booming through the chamber. Your governance holds no sway. What would you offer in exchange for the blade?
Well, we've got Arri here.
Oh, poor guy.
What?
Come on, speak up, Arri. If you don't want to become their pet.
Rated.
I'm standing next to Zariff, right?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, you guys are down off the platform.
Yeah. So
but I assume they can all hear.
Oh yeah, this is loud.
Because of the way. All right.
Oh, it seems like it's coming out of the whole room.
Okay.
I reach into my cloak and start thoughtfully caressing the yester glass, and I kind of give a look to Zariff.
We need the sword. If that's something that you no longer need, we could certainly do that.
Zariff, roll me a searching for real quick. You notice, your keen eye observes that interlaced around the room, at first you just thought they were parts of the room itself. There are bits and pieces of Numenera all over the place. Devices, ciphers, artifacts, almost as if these people are collectors and they collect in quantity.
So, the reason you, Wyloch, the reason you couldn't hone in on this thing, I just kind of point out, there's 15 or 20 over there, there's 30 over there. This thing is a freaking wall of Numenera.
Hoarders. I've seen this before.
So I don't know if they're If one more thing would be enough, maybe we could ask them, see if they like, do they want memories, stories? Like what do we know of these creatures?
And that's what I want to ask them. What could such great and powerful beings from beyond our plane desire of us?
Okay. It leans forward to you. And you can see several of its eyes like chameleoning off and looking at your friends beside you. It leans forward to you. Are you wearing the 9-petaled rose?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You feel one of the tendrils sort of snake up, and is it the pin in your hair?
Yes, it is.
It snakes up beside you and plucks the pin out of your hair, and then puts it in front of your face, and it says, "Passage to your lands." And then holds it there.
What would they do there?
That is a question.
I know, right? Moral quandaries and all that.
Yeah, it's like, are we going to invite the apocalypse upon ourselves?
They just seem to collect and hoard Numenera. You know, they seem okay.
Well, why haven't they gone out before?
They're in a giant ocean.
Isn't that what the Aeon priests do too?
What's that? Hoard? Yeah, hoard Numenera for sure.
Yeah.
Especially to someone like you who pays them for it or gets paid for it.
Yeah.
Processing.
You all hear them.
They don't.
So you all
Right.
hear her say this, or hear the brain thing say this.
So they don't want Numenera. They want passage. They can't get there from here.
What do you wish to do in our lands?
It retracts and lifts up so that you can see it fully and that it can see you. And it says, collect, analyze, categorize.
This seems like right up Wyloch's alley. Like
Seems
we
so
could be
bad.
friends. Like that's not so bad. Like we'll
Yeah,
just
they
do
seem
that.
like regular dudes. Like, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I will do what I can to take you to the steadfast with us once we have defeated the insidious choir.
You have to roll for that one. That's a difficulty 5.
Okay.
That wasn't
That's fair.
that wasn't a yes.
That wasn't, I'm glad you noticed that wasn't a yes. I meant for it not to be a yes. Oh, okay. We're going to have to take a rest soon because I'm going to exert some effort. It's fine.
Hang on real quick. While she's talking it up,
Mm-hmm.
I whisper to Zariff, let's offer collateral. And I point to his the clasp, the invisibility clasp. Idea being, if we give them this as a show of good faith, as collateral. I would do the Gester glass, but why play an ace when a 2 will do?
So is the invisibility thing, is that just like a regular thing or is that an artifact?
It's a cipher.
It's a cipher. Yeah. A Numenera.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
you're saying,
Zariff, I will say you're smart enough to put 2 and 2 together that cipher probably won't net you the impossible blade. It might sweeten Silica's deal, but that's not a 1-for-1 trade-off.
do I continue to get the bonus for being on my kneeling, to be kneeling?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Since you failed the roll twice.
All right. Well,
But you succeed in that. Okay. Dope.
With style.
With style, yeah. So you succeed, and it lowers itself kind of back down to you, and drops the pin to your feet. And it looks to you and says, "A queen of these lands knows honor and will hold her deal." And then it leans back and moves away from the object floating beside it.
I rise up. I step forward. And I grasp what I can only assume is the hilt of the impossible blade.
Sure. And as your hands grasp this weird energy field of data streaming into the air...
I've also put the pin back in my hair, obviously.
I assume. The rest of you see the blade solidify into an elegant sword. Silica, your eyes take on the color of the blade, and your head throws back, and you stare up at the sky as you are flooded with a Wylochian amount of information. The last image you see is a scene, an aerial view of you as a child running around your father's office and meeting room. There's a large circular table in which you are often kicked out of the room, for this is where you have the experience of business meetings. From the aerial view, you see that around this table are 8 chairs, and through the center runs a zigzag, almost like a certain symbol that Wyloch has. Just ready to go. Soon. You let me down, Bill.
I cleaned up my desk the other day.
But it is a very familiar symbol, one on Arri's shoulder, and that is where we'll end this episode.
Right.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
Cool.
Oh
So.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That was that, guys.
That was pretty darn cool.
So that was episode 10, The Impossible Blade. So let's go around and get your thoughts and see who you guys think deserves an XP for today. So we'll start with Bill. Bill, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of this episode?
I'm Bill. I'm on YouTube. I have a channel called Wyloch's Crafting Vids where I show you how to make terrain like this behind me. I thought tonight was really fun. I like puzzles and I like dungeon delving, and the system's just cool. A lot of really weird stuff.
It's super weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Let's jump over to KENI. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think about tonight?
So I'm KENI. You can find me at twitch.tv/KENI Hill, and also here on YouTube. And tonight I was so apprehensive jumping into this, and with all of the weird arm creatures and the Zerat and the Silica and Ysect, I had no idea what we were gonna face, but I loved all of it. It was great.
Nice. I'm glad. And last, we'll jump over to Ted. Who are you? Where can we find you? What did you think of tonight? And who are our sponsors for this week?
Absolutely. Ted from Nerdarchy. You can find us on YouTube as well as nerdarchy.com. I thought tonight's episode was pretty darn awesome. We yet again got to skate through combat. I want to know what the challenge on those things would have been, because didn't know whether we would have gotten our asses handed to us how we actually fought them or what. Part of me really wanted to try and befriend the Zerat and have a little pet, but sadly that didn't wind up working out. Our sponsors, we have Dungeon Painter Studios, pyromancers.com, awesome map making software. If you want to customize your maps for your D&D or RPG game, go check them out. We also have Archania Workshop. If you want some awesome 3D printed stuff, they got dungeon tiles, terrain, and minis.
Sweet. And I had a blast tonight, guys. If you want to see more of me and my content, you can check me over at YouTube/UnmadeGaming or all other things, social media /UnmadeGaming. This was fun. Unfortunately, guys, we will not be here next week. I will be in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, so I apologize for nothing, because it's going to be a great time. But we'll come back for the season finale, which should be great, seeing as how they just found the Impossible Blade. I wonder how we'll wrap things up. Guess you'll find out. And Arri will, in fact, be back for that one. So before we give it to the cast to decide who they want to have the XP, I'll throw it to you guys and say, just a reminder, in the comments down below this video, once it uploads, comment and tell me why and who you think deserves the free chat XP. With that, I'll turn it over to you guys. Who do you think deserves the XP for this evening?
I liked the moment where it was like the Independence Day thing with Brett and Ratner, where it was talking through me.
That was pretty dope.
That was fun. So Silica talked them down, I believe. So I would give it to Silica.
For the reference, that was the exact scene I pictured in my head, and I was like, how can I do... Oh, yeah, no, it's going through Wyloch.
I feel like I want to give mine to Zariff for shooting the Illuminari or Eerilian,
Yep.
I don't know, whatever it's called. in the eyeball, just in like that knee jerk reaction.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like he's gonna need that XP.
That's awesome. And Ted, who do you think?
Am I allowed to vote for myself?
You cannot. You cannot vote for you. That's the only downside.
Well then, I'll vote for Wyloch and then make you choose.
All right. I choose no one. I get the XP. Dun dun dun. No, I liked the end. I like the end scene with Silica. That was a ballsy move. Not telling the truth. So I will be that guy.
I did not tell the truth.
You're right. You didn't not tell the truth. You're right. You didn't not tell the truth, and you didn't not lie. That's correct. So I thought that was a ballsy move, and the fact that you got an 18 on it, you got a mini crit, made it that much better. So I will give that point to you. That was a dope move.
Yeah, it's well earned.
Yeah. And with that, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.